Legacy of Hawke Empire by voice of Sophia. Adrian Hawke, a successful billionaire heir to the prestigious Hawke Empire, hadn't set foot in his childhood home for 4 long years. His father, Charles Hawke, a powerful, controlling figure, had built an empire that spanned continents, but their relationship was strained due to Adrian's refusal to live up to his father's expectations, namely, marrying and taking over the family business. Adrian had always sought freedom from his father's oppressive influence. However, upon receiving the news of his father's sudden death, Adrian had no choice but to return to the family estate, a place filled with memories he had long tried to forget. But nothing could have prepared him for what awaited him. The moment Adrian stepped off the private jet and into the heart of his childhood city, a strange foreboding settled over him. The streets he once knew felt foreign, the mansion that once echoed with laughter now eerily silent. The empire, once his father's pride, now felt like a burden Adrian didn't know how to. A trait his father always claimed was family blood. The boy was rushed into surgery, and as Adrian stood helplessly by, his uncle, Dr. Richard Hawke, appeared. Dr. Hawke had been a longtime family doctor and a trusted confidant of Charles. His presence should have been comforting, but the look on his face suggested there was more to the situation than Adrian realized. Leo's mother, a woman named Amelia, had once been a trusted member of the Hawke organization. She had worked closely with Charles, but their relationship was kept strictly professional, until one day, Amelia disappeared. The Hawke family had done everything they could to erase her from their history, and Adrian had never heard her name mentioned, not once. But Dr. Hawke, despite his usual discretion, had begun to open up. "Your father, he never wanted anyone to know about Leo. Amelia was a part of his past, someone he had been close to, perhaps too close," he said. "But your father always believed in keeping the family's bloodline pure. Leo, though, is proof that things didn't go as planned." Adrian was struck with the realization that Leo, this boy who had appeared out of nowhere, might hold the key to the empire's. He had a choice: fight Julian for the empire, marry to meet his father's conditions, or pass everything on to Leo. The room was silent, save for the ticking of a clock on the wall, each second stretching into eternity. He looked at Leo, who was now standing by the window, staring out at the city, his future, uncertain. Suddenly, Adrian made his decision. He would not allow Julian to take over. Instead, he would pass the empire to Leo, but with one condition: Leo had to prove himself. He would need to prove that he was capable of leading, that he could handle the weight of the legacy. Adrian, the reluctant heir, would step back from the spotlight and help guide Leo into the role. The night before the will was to be read, Adrian made one last visit to the family estate's grand library. The truth, he realized, had always been hidden in plain sight. His father's stubbornness had led to the downfall of many things, but Adrian was determined to make it right. The Hawke Group wasn't just about wealth, it was about integrity, about leaving a lasting legacy. And Leo, despite his young age, held the potential to change everything. The will reading was held the following morning in front of the entire family, business partners, and advisors. As Adrian stood at the podium, the crowd hushed. He turned to Leo, who was standing beside him, and made his final announcement: "The future of the Hawke Group doesn't lie in bloodlines or titles. It lies in who is ready to lead. And today, I pass the torch to my nephew, Leo. May he be the one to break free from the past and lead us into a new era." As Leo stepped forward, his eyes wide with both fear and excitement, Adrian realized that his decision had changed everything. The empire was no longer just a business, it was a family. And Leo, with all his innocence and strength, was ready to lead.